problem. I somehow managed to get out of there without ashes myself, but as always, it's great to see everybody here in the Zoom room. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Father Jim Leese, and I'm the Senior Director for Academic Initiatives and Partnerships at the London Global Gateway. I'm filling in for Michael Pippinger, who's traveling today. We'll hear from him later in a special message that he's left for us in the features section. But before we get started, I wanted to welcome some new staff members to this gathering. Most indeed are from London. I'll just mention them first, and then one from Mexico City. Irene Capasso joins us, Mary Denyer, Idil Omar, Kevin Ramkasoon, and Abigail Whalen, all in London. And Sofia Rivera is in Mexico City. And we welcome all of them. You'll have a chance to meet them over time. And certainly you'll learn more about them in the Insider that comes out this week. So welcome to those whose names I've just mentioned, to our Notre Dame family. Some have long been members, but welcome to your first Global Town Hall. And let's go ahead and get started with live headlines from our colleagues on campus and around the world, starting with Miranda, whom we're happy to see from Beijing.
Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Greetings from Beijing. The Beijing Global Gateway, along with the Jacques Maritain Center at Notre Dame and the Angelicum Thomistic Institute in Rome, organized the virtual colloquium on Thomas Aquinas and natural law. The mini conference on January the 29th is a continuation of the well-attended Western Medieval Philosophy Lecture Series launched in 2021. Over 140 people attended the event on Zoom, and more than 900 people watched it via live stream. BGG also partnered with the manufacturing giant Emerson China for an exclusive virtual lecture given by Professor Anne Tang-Brunsell on ethical behaviors in workplaces. 312 Emerson employees across China attended the lecture on February the 6th. This is BGG's first collaborative conference on business ethics with corporates in China. Now let's hear from Dublin.
Hello, everyone. The Dublin Global Gateway has been busy with public events, finally, as Ireland has fully lifted their COVID-19 restrictions. So in the last few weeks, we hosted Teresa O'Flynn from BlackRock investment firm here in Dublin to chat about sustainability and investments in a joint event with the Global Investing Institute at Notre Dame. We also hosted a CEO Forum breakfast event in collaboration with the group Ireland Gateway to Europe. This group of Irish CEOs will be headed on a trip to meet with the Notre Dame and Boston College networks in Chicago, Boston, and New York in the coming weeks. So we're excited to see what will come of that. Next week, we're welcoming the Anne Bryce Scholars Group to Ireland as they come to explore Dublin and Connemara out in Kylemore. So that's just a few of the things we've been up to since our last Global Town Hall, and the Global Engagement Programs team is up next.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. The Global Engagement Programs are finally coming back full swing, and we're really excited. The GEP has concluded its second virtual program in data science and machine learning for 19 students from Chinese partners this February. The Exchange and ASAP program has 44 students this spring semester, the largest cohort in 2 years. And this fall, we are expecting more students, with partners beginning to send students again post-pandemic. GEP is also providing full scholarships for 2 female students from Pakistan to attend this summer's iShore program. Next up, Hong Kong.
Catherine, are you muted? All right, looks like we don't have Catherine right now. Let's go ahead and move to Jerusalem. Victoria?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to join you all today. My name is Victoria Azrak, and I'm the project manager at the University of Notre Dame at Tantur. Here is a summary of recent developments here in Jerusalem. The skies have reopened and our campus has become much busier. Our spring semester undergraduate students have arrived. We have 7 students taking courses, internings, and touring around the country. In addition, the Tantur Economical Institute's programs are also operational. with an additional 12 continuing education students joining our community for the first time since the start of the pandemic. Last but not least, we were honored to host Michael Pippinger in February and introduce him to our local partners. The coming months will also be jam-packed with the arrival of ND faculty pilgrimage groups. This summer, we will be hosting conferences on the implications of China on the Middle East and North Africa, and as well as purity in the Middle Ages. There are more programs coming on soon, so stay tuned for updates from Jerusalem. Now on to Kyle.
So hello from Galway City, very windy. We've been in full swing with our 26 study abroad students, the highest number for our program to date, who spent this past Saturday up in Sligo, where they got to explore an ancient cave and hike up Knocknarea to Queen Maeve's tomb after a lovely lunch in Sligo town. We also welcomed Lallamure High School to Kylemore this past week and are looking forward to having the Anne Bryce Scholars come this week for their annual visit to Ireland. The following weekend, we welcome Kerry Myers, Assistant Dean for Student Development, and a group of engineering students from Notre Dame. We are also pleased to be involved with a number of online events, including Kylemore's partnership with the London Global Gateway for a research seminar on sustainability, as well as the Global Dialogue series, The Worsening Water Crisis, with Think ND, where 11 global centers from NDI are coming together to discuss issues surrounding water in their respective locations. And now on to London.
Hello all. So far this semester has been the London Gateway's busiest yet. We welcomed our largest ever intake of students at the beginning of the year, and this spring also sees a return to in-person events and conferences here at the London Gateway with a busy few months ahead. Notable upcoming events include the first in-person Notre Dame London Shakespeare lecture in 3 years, presented by Professor Carol Rutter on March 22nd, and the Nunavik Institute's Barrett Lecture with guest speaker Lord Patton on March 24th. We have also confirmed the next in our Toward a Sustainable Future series in partnership with the Nunavik Institute. Continuing on from our first talk about biodiversity, the next event is called Bringing Ourselves to Work, Work as a Creative Practice. As an engineer, interdisciplinary researcher, and trained systems thinker, Ellie is motivated by how scientific endeavor, artistic practice, and policy innovation can combine to create a healthier and fairer society, particularly with respect to gender and just climate transitions. Please join us for this talk on March 17th. The London Gateway is also rolling out the residential research fellowships, and Notre Dame faculty will have the opportunity to visit London and stay right here in Fisher Hall, taking advantage of the research opportunities that are available on their doorstep. Now, let's get a live update from Mexico.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. This is Lisette from Mexico, for those who don't know me. This semester, Sofia Rivera joined the team in Mexico and has already made great contributions to our work. In the past few weeks, we hosted Angie for a whirlwind tour of the country, which included visiting 3 cities and 15 partners institutions in 9 days. This afternoon, we also be participating in the Global Dialogue series, focusing on the financing of water infrastructure in Mexico City. We hope you will be able to join us. We have welcomed 3 students to Puebla this semester. They are deeply immersed in their courses, visiting host families on the weekends and taking trips to learn more about the country. Just this past weekend, we visited Oaxaca, Oaxaca, where they were exposed to the Zapoteca culture. We have also been accompanied by Elena Manjone Lora, an ND professor who is in Puebla as part of a faculty exchange program. Her time so far in Puebla has been of great support to our program. Students enjoy talking and meeting with her, and Mexican students are delighted to have the opportunity to take classes with a professor from Notre Dame. Now, let's hear from Mumbai.
Thank you, Lisette, and namaste from Mumbai. The Mumbai Global Center is eagerly awaiting the return of students to India this summer after a gap of 2 years, with the GPE placements currently underway. Also, our partnership with the US Consulate to conduct virtual events for the senior higher education institution administrators in India has been going well. This grant-funded opportunity provides for 3 panel discussions on topics of diversity, equity, and inclusion that are pertinent to these senior administrators in Indian institutions. We conducted the first 2 virtual panels in December and February with 3 panelists each. The first was on fostering disability-friendly higher education institutions, and the second was on the topic of supporting LGBTQI+ communities on campus. We had a total of 815 registrations and 344 attendees for these 2 events. The third event, slated for end March, is presently titled Championing Women Leaders in Higher Education. The series has been well received by our audiences, including these administrators, but also faculty and students in India, and also from 9 other countries, as well as from our home campus at Notre Dame. We welcome Professor Krupali Krushe in the beginning of the year, and are looking forward to welcoming Professor Neil Boothby in a few weeks on his visit to India. Professor Krupali Krushe also presented in the ongoing Think ND partnership titled Global Dialogues, The Worsening Water Crisis, where she presented her research project on the sea level rise in Mumbai and its impact on the city. I will now pass it on to Rome.
Thank you, Diraj. Hello, everyone. I'm Vita, and I work as Assistant Director here in Rome. I'd like to share with you a couple updates from our gateway. First, I'd like to introduce you to the Italy Study Abroad alumni platform. Our gateway just launched this online tool as a collaboration with the Notre Dame Alumni Association. The platform is entirely participatory, and its content is created by anyone who decides to join. It's a private group on MyND for current and former Notre Dame Study Abroad students in Italy. It is open to all alumni, their families, and friends, and is aimed at establishing connections among people and places. Second, I'd love to present the conference Mapping Rome, the Eternal City as a Site for Interdisciplinary Research and Education, organized by Margaret Miser, Ted Casey, Italian Studies, and the RGG. The event will take place on campus on March 17th as part of the Mapping Rome initiative. That's what we've been up in stunning Rome. Next, we will hear from Santiago.
Yeah, thank you, Vita. Buenos dias from Santiago, Chile. Over here, we're really excited and happy because we welcomed the first group of study abroad students. They arrived in Chile a month ago, and now they're in Santiago since last week. It's a group of 21 students, and we're really happy to be able to host them after 2 years without students. We were also really happy with the visit that Angie made to Santiago in mid-January 2022, which was really important for us because it was also the first visit we had from Notre Dame representatives in almost 2 years. We're also really happy because an agreement was signed between the STEAM program at Notre Dame and the School of Engineering here at UC Chile, which will allow us to create a sort of like a joint agreement between the School of Engineering and the STEAM program that we hope to start promoting this year. And we're also really happy with the new applications for the Luxich grants or the ND UC Chile grants that are funded by the Luxich Foundation, which we think it's gonna increase the collaboration between Notre Dame and our partners universities here in Chile. So now we're off to Thais in Sao Paulo. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. This spring semester, São Paulo Global Center received our first ND student for the study abroad program at FGV after 2 years of not having students here in Brazil. We organized a meeting with Brazilian parents and students to discuss our on internship opportunities in Brazil. We have been promoting NDI summer programs, ILED and ISS for Brazilian students. 10 students from Brazil were accepted to ND in the early action deadline. We are expecting 15 to 18 students for the summer abroad program, Brazil Cultural Mosaic. And we have 4 companies offering 7 spots for the GP program. Also, São Paulo Global Center presented Integra Education Conference for 400 educators in Panama. And now we are going to hear from Study Abroad team. Thank you.
everyone. On behalf of the Study Abroad team, here are our updates. First, the Study Abroad team had a record application year, and we're excited to share that we have a combined total of 1,450 students committed to the summer 22 and academic year for 22-23 Study Abroad programs. As a team, we are hard at work getting the students ready and prepared to go abroad. Secondly, the Study Abroad photo contest closed last week, and we will be announcing our winners this coming week. The finalists in the Scenes from Abroad themed category will be voted on Instagram. So make sure to follow us and you'll be able to have a chance to vote for your favorite photo. Finally, the Beyond ND Study Abroad podcast will be hiring a new student lead for season 3. Please continue to listen to all of our episodes that feature our students from all around the world. Now to hear from Hong Kong.
Thank you, Kyla. Yes, sorry that my internet was cut off, but anyway, hello from Hong Kong. With the 5th wave have hit us badly last few weeks, so Hong Kong have a lot of death rate, but we are okay. We're excited that 2 exchange students study in Hong Kong. One of them has an amazing experience during his 3 weeks quarantine. Yeah, we will be surprised that he was tested positive at the airport and was sent to the hospital directly. Our global center support him immediately. He was roomed with the Asia Pacific director of LVMH, the COO of Starbucks, and the head of HSBC and Dodgers Bank. During his quarantine in the hospital, he actually built a wonderful network, and he may also have his future job from this quarantine. So, even though he was in the hospital, he had a great time. We also build mentorship program and language program for students during their quarantine. And also we are in the progress of planning a parent event for our Greater China Scholar program. Thank you very much. Next, yeah, Colin, maybe you should. Now who should be next?
Next, we'll head to Jackie, Nairobi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. Hi, everyone. Hi from Nairobi. I'll just give an update. In February, we participated in the Global Dialogue Series, the Worsening Water Crisis, in partnership with the Think and D team. We featured Professor Ellis Adam from the Kyo School, an environmental policy expert who discussed issues surrounding water in the countries he works with, mainly Malawi and Kenya. We had an event that was well attended with several questions. We had 77 people who didn't drop off until the hour ended. And my second update is we're working with Laura Stipik. In the summer, we'll be hosting 4 GPE students who have confirmed for the very first time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jackie, and thank you everyone who gave us a headline today. And coming up next, we're going to head into the feature section, starting with a quick update from Michael Pippinger. Let's take a look.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry to not be with you today. I thought I would take this opportunity while I'm traveling to give you a brief update about some of the work I've been doing and some of the work that we can all look forward to in the months ahead. I've just come back from an exciting and very productive trip in Jerusalem, working with the team there on our study abroad program and on new initiatives that can help educate both Palestinians and Israelis, as well as US diplomats. I'm next on my way to Ireland via Rome, Ireland, to travel with several vice presidents who are on a delegation preparing for the football game in 2023. And I'll be going via Rome to see the team there and to work with them. One of the things we all have to look forward to in the coming year is the development of a new strategic plan for NDI. This corresponds with work the university is doing in its own strategic thinking as we gear up for a new capital campaign and a new strategic direction for the university over the next decade. In the weeks and months ahead, you'll be hearing from not just me, but from your team leader, wherever you are in the world, about how we can all participate and come together to form the next generation of ideas that will guide us as a division It's a really exciting year for us, and I look forward to the conversations that we have across the global network to create a new strategic plan that benefits our students, our faculty, our staff, and Notre Dame's reputation, and most importantly, impact in the world. So thank you in advance for the work we'll be doing on that, and I look forward to be back live with you the next time we have a town hall. Thanks. And thanks to Father Jim.
And thank you, Michael. It's hard to believe that we started the museum exhibit project nearly a year and a half ago. So it started with a small group of colleagues from around the world. We held a few brainstorming sessions to help come up with a theme, which ultimately, as you can see, the fabric of a global university. Then we spent the rest of the year building out our story with your help. 2 weeks ago, we hosted the virtual ribbon cutting ceremony, and some of you were actually able to attend that. We are so thankful for all of your help and support, and for some of you asking you to ship items directly to campus. It was such a unique opportunity to showcase NDI's global impact and bring that story front and center to an audience we don't always get to reach, the South Bend community and beyond. So I put together a brief video just to showcase the exhibit, including a few clips from that official ribbon cutting ceremony I was just talking about. And then after that, we're going to hear an exciting update from NDI's Sustainability and Community Engagement Committee. First, let's take a look of the museum preview. Enjoy.
Three, 2, 1.
It's been an honor and a pleasure working with Notre Dame International to showcase and highlight them in an exhibit about Notre Dame International. I'd like to thank all of the staff of both teams that were so involved in pulling this together.
This exhibit is a chance for Notre Dame to share with the South Bend community the ways in which we have helped to make this a more international community. Since our very beginning, when we were founded by an immigrant to the US, Notre Dame has first and foremost thought about global engagement. And part of our commitment as a university is to the city of South Bend and to the greater Michiana region. The stories that you see in this exhibit, we hope will capture your imagination and give you a new appreciation and understanding for the ways in which our students and faculty have been immersed and woven into the community here, making a difference. And how South Bend has also made a difference in the lives of those citizens from all around the world that have come to study and live here and call Notre Dame home.
Opening a new exhibit is always an exciting time for the community and for our members. And we can't wait for you to come see the fabric of a global university.
So in the first quadrant, you'll find 6 glass cases. That's what you're looking at right now. And the cases represent the global locations that Notre Dame has around the world. Inside, you'll find artifacts, photos, and stories that highlight the work that's happening in those regions. Take a look at that back wall. This is quadrant 2. This features a timeline, the history of internationalization, starting with the founding of the university in 1842, followed by 1850. It's actually the year the first international student arrived on campus from Mexico. The timeline provides insight into how we became such a global university. And in quadrant 3, you have these freestanding glass cases, and this is a chance for us to really highlight our university partners. Take a look at this. This is the trophy from the 1979 Mirage Bowl in Japan. This is Notre Dame's first international football bowl game. A lot of people aren't even familiar with this game, so we're very excited to teach you all about that and much, much more. But for now, I'm going to literally hand it off to Christy Dunn. She is my counterpart at the History Museum. Hey, Christy.
Hi, thank you very much. Just give me a second to pin this on. My name is Christy Dunn, and I'm the registrar here at the History Museum. First, I want to say welcome. Right behind me is our theater room, and this is where you'll actually get the chance to see the full 20-minute video that includes a lot of the clips that you just watched. As we move over here to quadrant 5, this is where you get the chance to learn about Notre Dame's work in Africa. And you'll get to see all the programs that help really to bring young African leaders to the South Bend campus. As we move along the wall, you'll learn about research collaborations that are happening both on campus and abroad that leverage Notre Dame's global network. In quadrant 6, you can experience a lovely piece that you got to hear about, created by local artist Nancy Sennett. This is the weaving that she did with crystals representing locations that all of the students are from. We then move on to our final section, which it's all about what it means to be a global citizen. Here you'll read student reactions as well as have the chance to include your own viewpoint.
Hi everyone, thank you so much Colleen for that video. My name is Zaina Karabatic. I serve as an assistant director for the ISSA team. Excuse me. In addition to this role, I've had the pleasure of being a member of the newly formed NDI Sustainability and Community Engagement Committee. This committee's main objective is to share and learn about the choices our colleagues, our global sites, and the university as a whole are making to be more sustainable. We hope to create a continued presence at our global town halls to focus on different aspects of our work lives and the ways in which we may learn from each other to make sustainability a priority. Sustainable decision-making looks different for all of us as we live different lifestyles, in different climates, in different cities and countries, but this difference provides a unique learning opportunity for us to think about sustainability and its impact at a global level. Today, we will get to know some of our colleagues and the role of sustainability in their commutes to work. We would like to extend a big thank you to everyone who submitted footage and contributed to this video project. Let's take a look.
I cycle to work because it saves me a lot of money on transport costs. It's also a really good way of getting exercise every day. And it also has given me a much better knowledge of the geography of London. So I used to just go underground in one area and come up in another, with no idea how they're connected. Whereas now I feel like my understanding of the city is a lot better.
I really enjoy walking. I think it's the best way to explore the city, and that's also the reason why I always tell our students that Rome is a walkable town. For me, it's also a great way to be active, especially on weekdays when I may be too lazy to go to the gym or exercise before or after work. But I'm also glad that I'm promoting a sustainable behavior.
So I started carpooling because I happen to have a friend who lives in the same apartment complex as me, who also works at Notre Dame. And it was initially primarily because of functionality, because it was very snowy and my car drives better in the snow. So I started driving us to work. But even on the days when it's not snowing, we just continued carpooling because it doesn't make sense for both of us to drive into work and to both be paying for gas when we're essentially going from the same place to the same place. So it's both the more functional option, but also the more sustainable option.
Walking to work gives me a good perspective on the day ahead. It gives me some time to think and plan and understand what I need to do and just collect my thoughts. I love listening to some good music at times. Otherwise, just walk and enjoy the weather around. Also, it's so good for your health to get those 10,000 steps. This just helps me cut down the number I need for the rest of the day.
I decided to buy a hybrid car because I don't live in the city center. I live far from here and I don't have a metro station nearby. So I decided to support a company which is committed to sustainability.
My favorite part of commuting to work is to see all of these people riding the subway just like me. in this metropolitan called Beijing to go to work, to support their family, and to chase their dreams. I think there's a powerful and magical feeling to it. Besides, when I get out the subway on my way to the gateway office over there, I get to walk next to this beautiful river.
Jer, you're muted.
Okay, thanks, Colleen. So thank you to Zaina and the sustainability team. That was actually really great. So I'm going to speak about the newest NDI research grants, but based on what Father Jim had earlier said, I'm keenly aware that we have so many new faculty and our staff that have joined us, and I thought I would start by saying a few words about the general importance of the grants. Now I have a slide up there, and trust me, I don't expect you to read all of it. I'm not going to say all of the words, but read as you see fit. Overall, what I want you to know is about the importance of the grants. International research is basically critically important to a high caliber university such as Notre Dame. It expands the critical questions that can be asked, and it adds complementary international talent in answering those questions. That's important to us. Our grants help expand international research and build those international collaborations. The support that we offer can take many forms, including on-site visits, conferences, support of graduate students, and data collection. As we all know, our Notre Dame network includes gateways and centers, as many of you are at those gateways and centers, and we particularly want to support research to the degree possible at gateways and centers in their locales. We now have 11 NDI grants and 3 of them are new, and the 3 new ones are the ones that I really wanted to focus on here. As an introduction to those 3 new ones, what I wanted to say was that over time, we have become increasingly aware of the value of a formalized cost-sharing partnership with whether it be units on campus or other institutions. And that's a part of how we developed those 3 grants. We also wanted to develop those grants in concert with gateways and centers. So moving on to the next slide. This first grant that I'm going to talk about was developed, the Kylemore Abbey Global Center Partnership Program was developed as a joint partnership with units and centers on campus. This is one that Lisa and I worked together very closely as a way to increase research engagement with university and research institutes in the locale of Kylemore. It's basically a new grant. We've just launched it. And what we want to do is we want to bring funding in from centers or institutes on campus so that they are cost sharing, not just adding to the pool of funding for the opportunity, but also in doing so, saying that they too are intellectually committed to bringing and engaging in the area of Kylemore and partnerships there. As you can see from the slide, and I'm not going to elucidate all of them, there are many types of opportunities that can be funded. But our overall mission and goal when Lisa and I developed this was that we want to bring research meetings and engagement to Kylemore and in that area and support also some aspects of the research itself. Moving on to the next slide. Again, if you think about it, we're still talking about joint partnerships. Here now we're talking about joint partnerships with institutions outside of Notre Dame. And these are our 2 new ones. Again, we're talking about gateways and centers as well. These two new programs involve joint partnerships, one with Durham University in the UK and one that Felipe originally earlier referred to with PUC in Chile. The London Global Gateway has long fostered a very important and deep relationship with Durham University, and Esteban and the Santiago Global Center worked assiduously to launch this grant with PUC. We think of both of these grants as seed grants, and forgive me if I'm actually speaking about the obvious, but a seed grant is something where you are actually funding an early research project, and you're hoping by helping that early research project in that stage that at a later point, the results of that research can lead to greater funding and more research in the future. Prior to launching these grants, we were very involved in conversations with both of these institutions and both of their research offices to figure out what are the priority areas and that we would engage with together, and where would we encourage the areas of focus. And as you can see from the slides here, the priority areas for Durham were solar energy, climate change, and tropical diseases. And for Chile were global and environmental change, global affairs, astrophysics, natural disasters, and the arts. We've just received the applications for Durham, and we have a nice long application period awaiting the applications for the LUCSIG. We are very excited to have this joint planning, joint funding, joint application, and joint decision model, because we think it will further engage and deepen our collaborations with these institutions and for our gateways and centers in these areas. Thank you.
Thanks, Jer. Our next video showcases one of our staff members in Beijing, Vivian Zhou. Vivian is the program assistant here in Beijing and also a fantastic artist who creates her work using Chinese techniques and materials. For Chinese New Year, Vivian created pieces of art, especially for NDI. These pieces of artwork linked to NDI because it's a reflection of the fact that we at NDI are one of the representatives of ND's global multicultural fusion and inclusion. The use of the 12 animals to represent the different years, as well as the ink painting that emphasize mood rather than realism, are both unique to Chinese traditional art and culture. When Vivian's Year of the Ox painting appeared on NDI's website last year, it attracted the interest of a professor on campus who wrote to Vivian saying that I'm waiting for your tiger painting featured on NDI website to send my New Year cards to my partners in China. One more special thanks to Idol, Joe, and Colleen for creating this very Eastern style video. Enjoy.
The fact is that I have loved to draw since I was a child. When I see something that interests me, something beautiful, I always want to draw it. I can sit at a table for a long time to finish a painting, and the whole process is very quiet and joyful. When I was a child, I look forward to festival because our parents would make a lot of food that we could not normally eat. We would have new clothes to wear. our parents would have time to spend with us. Now I think the greatest joy is to be able to spend time with my parents and the family. My parents are getting old. My son is growing up. I should cherish the time with them. Well, usually we plant daffodils before the festival, which bloom during the Chinese New Year, bringing beauty to the winter. The night before Chinese New Year, I would join my parents-in-law and their family. We would have a nice dinner. My parents-in-law will give my son a red packet and blessings. The most important activity of Chinese New Year in our family is playing mahjong with my mom. If she wins, she will be very happy. I paint mostly with watercolor or Chinese paints. Sometimes I paint the patterns on clothes bags and give them to my friends, or I use them for myself. So they look good and are environmentally friendly. I think this is also a kind of sustainable development.
And concluding the featured section, here's an update from the Study Abroad team. In our role as international educators, we must bring the world to this campus and allow it to expand our understanding, transform our thinking, open our minds, and enrich our community. This engagement is both part of our academic objective and central to our responsibility as a Catholic university. At NDI, we provide students with study abroad opportunities that are transformative. By understanding their neighbors globally, we prepare all members of the Notre Dame community to become global citizens who can effectively lead and serve the common good. This is our mission at Notre Dame International, and one that we work towards every day. This semester, we launched our second semester of the Study Abroad Storytellers program. We are excited to have 20 storytellers who are currently studying abroad around the world, including places like Spain, Morocco, Jordan, Brazil, Italy, UK, Ireland, South Korea, just to name a few. This program is so much more than a semester of storytelling. We are creating a global community where students and faculty learn more about the impact that study abroad can have. The program gives students a platform to share their study abroad stories in a number of different mediums. Sharing these experiences as they are happening allows students to connect with the Notre Dame community on campus. We had so many stories that students shared with us from the Fall 21 Storytellers program, but here's a glimpse of how one student's experience impacted the local community in her country. Nayla Gross is a fall study abroad storyteller who studied in Kigali, Rwanda, and wanted to share her experience with the Notre Dame community. As a chemical engineer student studying in a non-traditional study abroad location during a global pandemic, she faced many challenges, to say the least, but she was determined to create a life-changing experience. Now, looking back, the only difficulty she has is expressing how much it changed her life. Take a moment to watch her story now.
You know, people would always say like, this is amazing, but like, honestly, and I would honestly respond like, I was a vessel. Like could not have happened without, you know, my community, and that includes the Notre Dame community and the storyteller community. While I was there, it was pretty much my first or second week being there, and I was teaching computer parts, and I had like the little teacher's manual, and so I was trying to tell them what a keyboard was. I'm not an artist. I did my best, but they have no concept of what, you know, that would even mean. So I turned the book around, and all of a sudden, because it's a class of around 57 kids, teeny tiny ones, but so they're clambering on top of each other. Someone's screaming because someone's hair is getting pulled, and all they want to do is they want to see this small picture on my tiny teacher's manual. And then I just thought, you know, where would I be if I didn't know what a keyboard was? If I didn't know how to operate a computer? You know, the world is changing and technology is becoming more and more important. And I just thought these kids are going to be absolutely handicapped if they don't know how to type, if they don't know how to operate, you know, Microsoft Word. Let's try and make the biggest impact that we can make. So we set up the GoFundMe, and it was quite a whirlwind, actually. It went much better than we thought it would go, and we ended up raising around $7,500, which was just incredible because that was far over what we thought we could accomplish.
We need computers so that we can achieve the best of our goals.
Ernest, the headmaster, who is like, we love Ernest. And so Ernest sends me all these videos of the kids and all these pictures of the kids. I couldn't actually put them on the GoFundMe just because they don't really videos are hard to upload. But so the kids were learning how to use the enter button. And it was funny because Joe, one of my students, they were teaching the older kids. So the teacher, he's like, okay, now press the enter button and like tell me what happens. All of a sudden I hear this screech from the back. So this is on video, right? And Joe's like, it went to a new line. And I was like, yes, that's my boy. Like, you know, but just like Ernest sent me, you know, a note, and he was like, I don't know how to express what my heart is feeling. And all I could think about is, I know exactly what that feels like because I can't express in my heart what I feel to Rwanda and like what that gave me. And even just the kids, like volunteering, you always get more than you give, especially with kids.
Well, friends, that brings us to the end of our time together. If that video doesn't give you inspiration to do what we do for our students internationally, I don't know what would. It's just marvelous, the work that's happening all over the world. Again, on Michael's behalf, just want to thank all of you for participating today. As a reminder, we'd love to hear your feedback. Just head to the NDI portal and click on Connecting NDI to find the Global Town Hall feedback form. You must know there are all kinds of people who put this together, so thanks to all of them. There's too many to name, but they make it look pretty easy, but it's a rather sophisticated operation, I've come to learn. Finally, thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in June. God bless.
Thank you, Father Jim.
Bye. Thanks all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Bye.